This episode of The Sportsman's Empire is brought to you by Interstate Batteries. Since 1952, Interstate Batteries has been evoking compassion and a trustworthy spirit into the surrounding communities. Interstate Batteries is a mission-driven company fueled by purpose and guided by their values. If you need help locating a specific battery, stop into your local Interstate Batteries retail store and speak with a battery specialist. They even offer cell phone repairs. Interstate Batteries. Outrageously dependable. All right, everybody, this is the Man Therapy Podcast. My name is Dan. His name is Kyle. And we had a little bit of a internet hiccup the first go around at this. So I'm going to ask this question again without all the fluff leading up to it. And that is, we were coming out of a really nasty period of weather here, really cold temps. We had some snow and stuff like that. And my question to you was, on your clients, when you have in your meetings with your clients, does weather directly affect how they feel and their behavior, knowing whether it's going to be a good session or a bad session?
Oh yeah. Yes, especially if it's been if it's been an extended period of bad weather, then yeah, people tend to feel they just get down. They feel like they're in more of a rut. Stuff affects them more. Every counselor can predict it. Every counselor in the Midwest, at least, can predict the kind of seasonal affective stuff coming in when the days start getting shorter, the temperatures start dropping, social stuff starts falling off. It's more laborious to get together with people. The random social interactions stop. So, like a great example, Dan, is when the temps come up a little bit more, I know I'm going to see you buzzing around the neighborhood in the golf cart.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you're gonna stop by my house and we're gonna BS a little bit, and your kids are gonna all hop off the golf cart, come flooding in. The kids are just gonna start playing spontaneously and maybe hang out for a half hour,
Yep.
and that's fun. That's not planned, spontaneous fun. I'll do the same thing. I'll just buzz by. My son will be like, "Oh, can we go see if my friend's home?" And so we'll just drive by your house to see if you guys are home. If you're out, we just join. Or my son will go knock on your door and ask if your son can come play. Dude, that shit does not happen in the winter.
No, it does not.
So everybody feels cooped up. When everybody's inside, everybody's getting on each other's nerves. You don't have the social outlets that you usually have. So yeah, man. And then also just the darkness really affects, like, people not getting the sunlight and people not getting the fresh air. So yeah, I prepare for it. I actually talk to my clients about it. Once fall starts happening and the days start getting shorter, I'm like, all right, what are you going to do to purposefully have fun? Because you're not going to get as much spontaneous fun anymore. And what are you going to do to make sure you stay active? Because a lot of people just end up being less active too. So I say you're about to transition from spontaneous fun to purposeful fun. So you better start planning stuff.
Yeah.
And then conversely, at the end of the winter, we start coming out of it. Mm-hmm. And it's like, the days, dude, you also know this about the Midwest. And I think this is super funny. When we're going into the winter, 40 degrees feels so cold. Like, oh, damn it, it's so cold out when you're coming off the summer. But dude, when we're coming out of the winter, 40 degrees, oh, dude, that's shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah, exactly. And the last couple days, I've had to remind the kids, hey, listen, I know it's going to be 45 today, but you still need a coat between now and the bus stop, right? It's still 25 degrees outside, and it's cold, but you still need to wear a stocking cap and coat between here and the bus stop. So yeah, buddy,
it's funny. My son runs hot too, so he I'm sure yours is the same. They just play sports at recess, and so my son's just running. I know he's running all recess, and so it'll be 40, and they make him wear a legit winter coat. That's way too much. He really shouldn't wear that. But they just have to have a blanket rule of under 50 degrees you have to wear a winter coat, because not every kid is sprinting up and down the soccer field like ours are. So I think my son's like a sweaty mess with his hair plastered to his face, and he's like, "Oh, why do I have to wear this heavy winter coat?" It's like, yeah, dude, just wait till it gets a little warmer. You don't have to.
Yeah, just deal with it. Dude, we're getting to your topic today. We're going to get to it. But that Super Bowl, man, it's kind of boring. I thought it was just boring.
It's the one thing I didn't want. I didn't care who won. I just wanted to see a good game, and it just wasn't. It was, I have to admit, it just wasn't fun to watch.
My favorite thing about the Super Bowl was as people started leaving, they must have some data that's present to them. Like the Super Bowl, the play kind of sucked. I'll be honest, I don't speak Spanish, so the halftime show meant nothing to me,
Yeah.
right?
Same.
And that so I'm just kind of migrating away from the Super Bowl, and
Yeah.
then you go back to it a little bit, and the announcers, or they must have known that, and the announcers were like, I just want to say that I hope all the fans here can really appreciate the defensive matchup that's happening here. I'm like, no, actually, no.
Yeah.
One defense played really good, the Seahawks defense. Everybody else everything else, both offenses kind of sucked.
Yep.
Definitely the Patriots offense sucked, right?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
like that one guard, God, I feel sorry for him for the Patriots, man. He had like 16 pressures or
Yes.
allowed pressures.
Yes.
They knew it, and they just doubled down on
Oh
going
yeah,
at
that
him
poor guy,
all
the weak
game.
link.
Yeah.
They found the weak
Yeah.
link
They
bad.
found the weak link, and
Oh,
then it just turned ugly from there.
dude, it
Like, and
was.
then the Drake May, his accuracy was not there at all, and he
Yeah.
was missing passes to the point where you're like, you hear the rumors about like the NFL being rigged, and
Yeah.
you're like, is it rigged? Yeah,
Oh,
like
I know. Like multiple wide open receivers. You're like,
y-
oh, the Super Bowl quarterback didn't see that guy, huh? Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Well, and who was the MVP this year? Was it him?
I hope to God not.
I hope it wasn't.
I'd have to
Anyway,
look it up too, but no, it was horrible. And I actually really like a good defensive battle, but to try and
mm,
pass that game off as a defensive battle,
mm-hmm.
it's just crappy offenses. But dude, how is the kicker not the MVP?
Oh, exactly. I was
Dude,
like,
that
the
guy
dude
scored all the
scored.
points.
He scored all the points. There was what, 2 touchdowns. I get it. There was 2 touchdowns from the
Those were
Seattle, but
inconsequential.
the only reason that they were on the board leading up to the third quarter was because of the kicker, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Dude,
shout
he
out
must
to
have
the
been thinking
Seattle
like,
kicker.
that guy was the only guy having fun that
Yeah,
day. I mean, he
exactly.
must have been like on cloud nine, like, holy shit, man. I
Yeah,
never
I'm
thought
on one right
it'd be
now.
the
Yeah,
Super Bowl for me. He's just out there kicking field goal after field goal, racking up
yep,
points. He's like, I have how many points in the Super Bowl? This is
yeah,
incredible.
exactly. Because he kicked what, 4 field goals
I
or
think so.
5,
Maybe even 5. Yeah.
maybe
It was a
5.
lot. He
Yeah,
was
dude.
always kicking field goals. So every time he kicked one, I thought, oh my God, he's got to be having the day of his life. He's like, I
Exactly,
don't care that this game sucks. I don't care about anything. I'm kicking freaking 5 field goals. This is crazy.
exactly.
Oh yeah, I was
On
hyped for
the
that
other hand, Kyle,
guy. Uh-huh.
I heard this statistic. The Puppy Bowl that happens at
Oh,
halftime had its highest viewership of all time ever.
yeah.
And so shout out to the puppy dogs for
Yeah.
crushing
Shoot, I should have
crushing
showed
that.
my kids that. Yeah, that is
Yeah.
kind of a fun thing. Well,
Yeah.
to your point earlier, like I don't speak Spanish either, and so I had absolutely nothing against the halftime show. It just wasn't for me,
No.
and not that the message wasn't for me. I didn't even know. I was really
Yeah.
surprised that they didn't just have subtitles. How did
Yeah.
they not have subtitles? That was really weird.
Yeah.
Like you would have to go
Or
turn them on, which is fine, but
because a lot of times, right, they'll have something there where it's a little bit of everything,
yeah.
right? And I understand Lady Gaga's part came on and she sang in English. That's
Mhm.
great.
Yeah.
But everything else, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are or the analytics are for viewership in the NFL, but it's an American league. It is, and as of right now, the only speaking, like, and I don't want to this like I hate talking about it because people will be like, oh, that sounds that sounds racist that you're even talking about this shit.
Yeah, we can talk
But
about
I'm
it.
just like, dude, it's an American league. I'm guessing a majority of the players are American speaking, right? It's not like
English
soccer,
speaking, yeah.
right? It's not like soccer.
Yeah.
The
Right.
demographics are white and black. And then outside of that, I'm sure there's other races involved there or
Mhm.
cultures. And again, I'm all for culture. If Bad Buddy would have came out and sang 1 or 2 songs in Spanish, awesome. But I couldn't even follow along. So you
Yeah.
just ostracized anybody who does not speak Spanish, which my guess is Spanish Americans play are a big demographic in this, but my guess is they're not the number one demographic.
Yeah,
And
right.
so
I wonder
I
that.
don't know.
I
Yeah,
wonder how big the Super Bowl is in other countries, in Spanish speaking countries. Like, you
yeah,
know, uh, my mind was like, well, maybe they must know exactly what they're doing. Like they
yeah,
must be willing to sacrifice the majority of the US viewership
yeah,
because viewership on other parts of the world would make up for it. Like that maybe
yeah.
that was the play because
They're doing it for a reason.
yeah, yeah,
They're
just like,
doing it
I
for
was
a
like, "What
reason.
am I don't know, this is good energy." I actually
Yeah,
thought it was, like, the coolest, setup of
yeah,
any Super Bowl halftime show I've ever seen. It wasn't just like a boring stage where they just run
yeah.
around a stage. I really liked how it was like, they
Interactive.
built a whole
Yeah,
atmosphere with all those grass people going everywhere
yep,
and doing all the things. I thought
yep,
that was really cool, and there were neat things to it, like that wedding was real, that happened in the Super Bowl. That was a pretty neat
yeah,
thing. They had a few other little Easter eggs in that performance that were cool, but yeah, most of it just went
yeah.
right over my head. What?
The other thing about the Super Bowl is, and I got to ask you this question, right? It's let's say in the 1980s, I can remember the first, how big of a deal it was when Ellen DeGeneres came out of the closet.
Mhm.
And I believe it was one of the first gay kisses on television hit in
Right,
history, something like
right.
that. And it was huge and it stirred up a lot of people. And
Yeah,
like now culture has changed to be more openly accepted about that stuff.
yeah.
But now we're to a point where, and I'm sure in different parts of the country, it means something different because, when you get into a big city, there's a lot of, there's more of that around. It's probably more prevalent than it is in the Midwest. But
Mhm,
when my son sees that, he looks at me and now I got to explain that. Like, why
mhm.
were those, like, number one, the men and the women dancing together was pretty, like, erotic, I
Yeah,
guess you wanna say,
yeah.
but then you got 2 men doing it as well, and it becomes more of like a, golly, like, I don't know. I just call me old-fashioned or call me prejudiced, whatever whatever version you wanna say, but it just
Right,
was like,
right.
I didn't care. I don't care about that stuff, but at the same time, when they plastered on TV all over the place, I mean, even heterosexual stuff on television is, in my opinion, getting out of hand.
Yeah,
And I 100% agree with, if you don't wanna see it, don't watch it. I agree with that.
yeah,
But the Super Bowl halftime show, I didn't have a choice.
yeah,
You know what I mean? I didn't
yeah.
have a choice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm okay with it being included. I'm also recognizing that I think I'm getting old, that I was like, geez, this whole thing and most shows are hypersexualized
Yep,
to the point that's like, if I was just watching this by myself or with my guy friends or just my adult friends, then cool. But like I was in a house full of kids. And when,
exactly.
I was at my brother's house, big Super Bowl party, both my brothers, all their kids, tons of kids. We're all
Yeah,
packed in the basement with the big TV and all the food. Super Bowl halftime show comes on and it's just like chicks wearing nothing, just
yep,
grinding.
yep,
I was like, I don't, and there's no English, so there's no context. We're
yeah.
just watching these young folks grind. Like, okay, well,
Grind.
hey buddy, you want
Yep,
to play catch? Like
yeah, and you
anything
know
other than
what?
that. So I'm not.
I don't know, dude. I just like
I'm just,
I had a
I'm just getting
conversation with a
older,
guy
I think.
yesterday. Yeah, oh, I'm getting older and I'm becoming a more judgmental asshole. Like I
Right.
am. I don't know why. It's like if things go wrong or I don't like something, I'm just like, bah humbug. Just like
Rebel,
some
rebel.
back in the day, I'd be like, oh, dude, if it's too loud, you're too old.
Yeah.
Like,
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, it's good that you can recognize that. And yeah, and
yeah,
it didn't bother me to see two guys. Like I get it.
yeah,
I don't think that they should have to hide. I think that they should be able to feel just as
uh-huh,
comfortable uh being out in the open as everybody else. So that's a place where I can be like, yeah, if that's not for me, then I just need to not worry about it because the whole
yeah,
rest of the show is just heterosexual people just grinding all over each other.
yeah,
I was like the kind of the whole thing again, like no, let's say nothing wrong with that, just not for
yeah,
me. Or
Yeah.
and also it's interesting that it's it seems like the Super Bowl has always tried to have this like wholesome angle.
Hmm.
And I think sometimes they've stayed closer to that than others. And again, this is
The
me
last two
showing my
Super Bowls have been very, like, I don't know, very culture focused, I'll say.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Not
yeah.
like a specific culture and not necessarily like a melting pot type vibe, which America, I had I had a guy, professor in college, and he goes, you know, the term melting pot is used really loosely in the world because he was from Argentina,
Hmm.
and he told me a melting pot means your neighbor is something different than you, and then across the street is something different from you, or you're in the same building is something different. But he goes, in America, it's not really a melting pot because neighborhoods tend to stay like blacks are in
Mm.
one area, whites are in
Yeah.
one area. When I grew up, all the Asians were in one part of town, or all the
Yeah.
Laotians were in one part of town. The
Right.
whites were on a different part of town. The blacks were in a different part of town. And it was just, that's not a melting pot per
Hmm.
se.
Hmm.
You know
Hmm.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe that's just American culture. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And also, I know that Bad Bunny did shout out a lot of other countries, and it seems
Yeah.
like he did have a very inclusive message in that way. But again, I
Don't know what it said.
don't know what it said. Like the next day, there were people with screenshots that had captions and stuff, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been nice to understand what was
Yeah.
going on there." And but
Yeah.
really, I was just trying to like not have my kids watch Dirty Dancing. It's weird, dude. We're
That's
getting old.
yeah.
We're getting
Yeah, we're
old.
getting old.
That's
We're getting
I
old,
do
dude.
like that we can say like they should. We're not saying they shouldn't have done that. We're saying, oh,
Yeah.
that might not have been for us.
Yeah.
'Cause I think
Um,
those are 2 different things. Like, if you're so egocentric that you think the world should be planned around your specific wants and needs, and it's gonna be a rough life for you. But if
very
you're able to
rough
just
life.
call it what it is, like, "You know what?
Yeah.
A lot of people loved it, so there must be something
Yeah.
to it. Clearly, that wasn't for me."
Right. Right. My youngest son came home and yesterday after school, and my oldest son and my youngest son started arguing over whether something was cool or not.
Mm.
And my youngest son said something pretty insightful for his age. He goes, "People like what people like." And I'm like, you know what, buddy? That's a pretty good way to look at it,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Just because
Accurate.
I like it doesn't mean you have to like it. And just because you like it doesn't mean I have to like it. And I was like, that's pretty nice. Where'd you learn that from? He goes, I don't know. And then he ran it to go play with Legos. So
I love it.
whatever. Yeah.
I love it. And dude, that right there is the reason why you can have a whole career built on your hunting interests.
Yeah.
And a
Exactly.
lot of people are like, I don't get hunting. Hunting's so dumb. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, like a ton of really good people that have like
Yeah.
a really cool hobby and really strong interest and get a lot of healthy stuff out of it. It's like, yeah, cool. If it's not for you, it's not for you.
Yeah. Yep.
Love that.
But hunting is kind of dumb, the amount of money and time people spend on it, including myself. So,
What's the
but I
most
love it.
what's the most expensive thing?
Oh, dude, it's all
Everything.
expensive. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, and it just keeps getting more expensive because there's less access and all this stuff. But I don't want to get into that because I don't want to talk about it right now. This podcast is my escape
Oh
from
no,
all
this
of
is your
that shit.
refuge.
Yeah, this is my
Well,
refuge.
well,
So
so someday I would
yeah.
like to talk about it though. Not today, but someday I would like to talk about it as like a noob to an expert. There's stuff that
Oh
I would
yeah,
like to know and learn and understand. So someday we could
yeah.
talk about that.
Yeah, if not for anything other than the relaxation nature vibe that I do hunting for, and that's just to relax and
Hmm.
like stress reduction. So yes, I get it. But before we get carried away, dude, it is time for me to drop back. We were talking about the Super Bowl, so I'm going to use Football Reference for this next one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
you're Jerry Rice.
Mm.
Okay,
Hmm.
I'm Joe Montana
Mm.
in this scenario.
Like that duo.
Downset hike, I drop back. I come up in the pocket. You're wide open. I throw
Uh-huh.
the kids call it a dot these
Mm.
days. I
Thing is a
threw a
dot.
dot right to you. You're
Yep.
catching it and you're running with it now Kyle, what are we talking about today?
I'm in stride. I don't even look like I'm going that fast, but I really am because Jerry Rice
Yep.
wasn't that fast, but he was the man with the best hands on the planet.
Yep.
Absolutely. Touchdown. So, yeah, I am interested in your take on spring break and family vacations, generally speaking. I wonder what it meant to you as a kid. I wonder what it now means to you as an adult. I wonder what your best memories are from family vacations. The reason this stuff's coming up for me is because I'm I think that they're important. I think that they're cool. I'm having trouble justifying them in the budget. Um, I can't go big every year.
Mm-hmm.
I also feel like when you go big, then it kind of sets the bar.
Yep.
That it seems like that's what we're gonna do every time, and that's
Mm-hmm.
just not where we're at right now.
Right.
Um, there's other things that I need to prioritize budget wise, and so I've just been mulling it around in my mind, like, is it how worth it is it to go into debt for, or like how huge of a priority should it be to like save up every year, and how how do different families I'm interested in how different families run their family vacations so it doesn't just turn into a big stress inducing week or run up to it. So
Yeah.
yeah, what are
Yeah, dude, I
so
got this.
the initial
I'm
go ahead.
catching a vibe from you right now, and it's the same vibe that I go through every year. I'm
Yeah.
honest with you, man. There's times where it just kind of takes the enjoyment out of it, and the reason for me is if we ever did go on a vacation, I can only remember one vacation my entire life with my dad. Well, I take that back. A couple times, but it was almost like we drove up to the Twin Cities, we watched the Twins play, and then we came right back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The
Mm-hmm.
only big trip I can remember with my kids, as a kid, my dad, after my parents got divorced, my dad put me and my brother and him, we went on the Amtrak and we took the train all the way to Denver. We
Mm.
watched, we went to some museums. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park.
Uh-huh.
And then what else did we do? Like, we watched like an F1 race
Yeah.
that was in Denver at the time, stayed in a hotel, got back on the train, and then came back to Iowa. That
Yeah.
was the biggest one we had ever done that I can remember.
Yeah.
Um, there were times, but most of it was if we're going to go do something, we're going to go do something really close overnight for a weekend, something short, something simple, something
Yes.
affordable.
Yes.
And with my mom, I can remember going to a taekwondo tournament. It was like one time when I was younger, but with my mom, there wasn't after when they got divorced, there wasn't that necessarily in the budget for anything crazy. I think we went down to Missouri one time. I can't remember
Uh-huh.
what we even did down there,
Yeah.
but outside of those two specific things, or I take it back. My dad took us to a St. Louis Cardinals games a couple times, but it
Yeah.
was down one day, watch the game, and back. Maybe even in the same day.
Yep.
I can't really remember,
Yeah.
but it was something that was extra. It was extra. It was something big.
Yeah.
And now I think we live in a world where people expect it
Mm-hmm.
and it just doesn't have the same vibe or kick. And if we go away for a
Yeah.
weekend up to the river, we call it the river up in Northeast Iowa to stay with my uh, in-laws, that doesn't count anymore as anything. It's what I mean.
Yeah.
It's expected. And so
Yeah.
this past year, we went to St. Louis for multiple days,
Uh-huh.
and we stayed in an Airbnb with my brother's family. My dad pretty much paid for the whole thing,
Uh-huh.
all of it, and that was a big trip. But also that it didn't necessarily count either. And I'm just like, I'm not sure what would make it happy, what makes people happy anymore.
Yeah.
And then from the financial part that you were saying, dude, my dad would put us in a truck or his truck or his Jeep. He'd pull a pop up camper to a state park. pop it up on Friday, spend Saturday night or Friday night and Saturday night, have campfire meals. We wouldn't even leave the state park to go into town or anything, hike, fish, swim,
Yeah.
then come back and go back to school by Sunday.
Yeah.
And so it was a simpler when I was a kid. We didn't have the money to go to Florida or go to Denver or wherever it was. And it just feels like there's a lot of pressure, I'll be honest, on me to provide financially a vacation that, I mean, dude, my daughter's in club wrestling. Okay. And the amount of money it takes to get her to all those tournaments.
Yeah.
Both of my boys are in club baseball. Right. And so we pay on that. We pay for lessons. We pay for, like, I'm guessing between all of our kids, we're spending 20 grand a year.
Wow.
On all of the shit that goes along with not just getting them in the clubs, but the money spent going to Des Moines, going to eating food along the way, all that shit. And 20 grand,
hotels,
that's
gas.
a lot of money. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And so it's like, we're expected to do this and this and this and this and this. And then also we're expended, I just feel like nobody ever talks about finances. And so what are we supposed to do? Just pull money out of the fucking air? Sometimes.
Right.
And I don't know, man. Sometimes it's fun. And I saw this meme and I'm going to pass it back to you, but it goes, family vacations, taking care of your kids in a different town. Basically, exactly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
That's all it is.
Totally. Yeah. Well, I'm appreciating the juxtaposition or the comparison of what it was like when we were kids versus now, because when we were kids, your parents weren't spending 20 grand a year on all of your other activities and then still doing a family vacation.
Right.
I'm also, like you mentioned, like nobody talks about finances. That gives me pause too, because it makes me I'm just going to have to consider like how to do that in a healthy, age appropriate way for with a 9 and a 7-year-old, because I don't want to be like, oh, well, we spent all our money on you, so now we can't do anything fun. I don't want it to be like that, but I would like it to be like, well, hey, here's, generally speaking, we have as much money come in as we have, and we have to decide where that money goes and how to spend it. And once the money is all spent, there isn't any more to spend. And so we have to decide what we want to spend it on. And so sometimes it can be the case that if we spend it on this, it means we can't do this. Or if we spend this much on this, then we have to do something smaller over here. Are you cool with that? Or would you rather not do this thing and go do this big other thing?
Yeah.
So I think that's the thing I haven't been talking about with my kids at all, really.
Yeah. Two things is, dude, and this, maybe it's just me, but I don't give a shit what my kids think. If you are lucky, if you are lucky enough to go on a vacation, then you will be like, I'm not saying you should be, I'm saying you will be thankful for it. Because I'm not about to drive 10 hours somewhere or hop in a plane and spend that money and then listen to you bitch the whole time. It's not gonna, it won't happen. I will not allow it. And then at the same time, my kids, I could put a sprinkler in the front yard this summer and they're gonna have fun. Right. So let's be honest here. It's not the kids that are making a fuss over it. It's probably the adults. I mean, I want to go do something fun. I want to go do all these things and do that. I know my wife does, but the kids are going to be happy whatever we decide to do, whether we go, I mean, because we did go to Florida one year. And my wife got into a car accident. Some crackhead stole a work truck, ran a red light, and T-boned, like my wife T-boned that vehicle, broke her ankle, totaled our vehicle at the time, and we got some money for that. Okay. That allowed us to go to, get a car, a different vehicle, and then also go to Florida that year for summer vacation. Do you know what my kids did? Like me and my daughter went to the beach Everybody else sat at a pool in Florida. And
Right.
then we did go on a boat ride, which was pretty cool, and saw some dolphins and collected some shells and things like that. That was pretty cool on some submerged beaches that were only like 6-7 inches deep
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
fun. It was
Yeah.
awesome. You can't do that in Iowa, but the rest of the 90% of what went down there was us going out to eat and then sitting at a pool.
Yeah.
That was it, dude.
Yeah.
And so I look at that and I go, I can do that in Iowa,
Right.
right? I
Right.
can go find an outdoor water park or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case is
Yeah.
and do that cheaper.
Yeah.
Now I get it. The traveling part of it isn't as romantic, I guess you would say,
Mm-hmm.
but like then you're forced into a hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
which sucks because everybody's at too close of quarters. We typically like to get an Airbnb, and
Yeah.
sometimes hotels have benefits like there's breakfasts and lunch and things like that included.
Yeah.
The one we went to did not, so
Yeah.
it just. And then the other thing is like one thing that really pisses me off, and I've already told you about this, is when you go on a vacation. This and this isn't right. This isn't right. We're too far from here. Why aren't we here? What's going on with this? Why can't we do this? I'm
Mm.
like, there's no gratitude sometimes, and that pisses me off because I came from a family that if we were able to go to a state park and spend a night in a pop up camper,
Yeah.
holy shit, that was a big deal, man.
Right. Right. Yeah. It's weird. It's like I don't know. I don't want to say that kids are spoiled. I don't know. Maybe they are,
They're
maybe they aren't.
spoiled, dude. They're spoiled.
Simplify it for me. Yeah, I also I wish that I could like go back and watch the tape from when I was a kid to just see how
Hmm.
just how grateful I was versus how much of a whiny little bitch I was. I'm sure
Yeah.
like we never flew anywhere when I was a kid. We went on a lot of vacations. We went to a lot of places in the Midwest. We went to all the Six Flags and we went
Hmm.
to Wisconsin Dells and we went to Yellowstone was like our probably our biggest when we were little, went going to
Yeah.
Yellowstone National Park was our biggest vacation. And we went and saw a family that lived out in Wyoming and went to Mount Rushmore. We got to go to some baseball games. We got to go to the Arch in St. Louis. When I was a little bit older, we got to go to Niagara Falls. That was like a really big vacation, and I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure my dad took out loans. I think he took out loans to do the bigger ones,
That's
and
crazy.
I can't get myself to do that. I'm
No.
I'm not trying to do that, and also I also don't want to over romanticize acting like I was so grateful. I think like all the fun things that happened, I know that I loved and I remember them big time, but I also would guess that I was whining and complaining more than I remember. And I'm
Yeah.
sure I was also the are we there yet? And because we drove like that's a lot of
Yeah.
driving to drive to Wyoming and drive through
Yeah.
Yellowstone and do all that. That's a lot of time in the car for a little kid or for three little kids because I had two brothers and
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm guessing that it was probably pretty stressful on my parents to do all that
Hmm.
as well. Um, but I also recognize like, dude, I had so many good memories from those things, and
Yeah.
I want to make sure I provide those fun memories for my kids too. I do kind of wish we could chill out on the Christmas budget a little bit to
Hmm.
maybe supplement vacation budget because I think my kids with like half or more of their Christmas presents, like, they don't care about them at all. Like, here we are in the middle of February, Christmas practically just happened, and, like, each of my kids maybe still uses one thing that they got for Christmas. Like, why do we have all that stuff? It's just
Dude,
more.
I don't even know what my kids got for Christmas, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
I mean, the amount of shit that is used in a very short period of time and then not like,
yeah,
dude, I told my kid the other day, I go, if it's on the floor, I'm vacuuming it up. So pick it up if you want it.
right,
Like
yeah,
I just get frustrated because I didn't have a ton.
Yeah.
growing up. My parents worked really, really hard to get me the bare minimum,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like a baseball glove or uh, like here's one story. My mom at the time was when my parents got divorced, she was working 3 jobs. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I can remember my mom. I don't know if she would remember this or maybe she would think of it a different way. My mom would, I think she said, "Oh, I'm sorry, we have plans that weekend." We didn't have plans. She just could not afford to go get a birthday gift for a friend. So instead of going to the birthday party without a gift, she told me, we're not going to the birthday party because that's how broke um, we
Yeah.
were at periods of time in our life.
Oh yeah.
And so I can just remember being so happy when I got a bicycle
Right.
for my birthday
Yeah.
or for Christmas or whatever it was. And I'm just like, dude, yes. And now these kids, all that's expected. You have to have a bicycle. You got to do this. You got to do this. And
Oh
the
yeah.
kids get so much these days. We spoil them so much that it's expected now. Like for example, we're coming up here at Valentine's Day. My wife got all of the kids a Valentine's Day gift bag full of
Yeah.
my guess is $50 or maybe even more of stuff in the gift bag.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not
Yeah.
going to tell her no because I don't have the energy to
Yeah.
fight about it. It's
Yeah.
just I let her go do it. That's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
But now when it comes to, hey, so what are we doing for vacation this year? And I bring up the what do our finances look like? There's
Don't want to talk about that.
no one wants to talk about it.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, dude. I
um,
know it. I know it.
yeah,
Yeah. It's funny how it's. I think there's just this natural creep that happens in everyone's life, and I think it would have happened regardless of social media. But I do think that social media probably ex-
amplifies. Yeah,
expedites it. But it's like,
yeah.
let's say that like one sweet mom 15 years ago bought had the nice idea as a treat one year to get her kids a Valentine's Day present. Ooh,
Hmm.
that's kind of a cute
Yeah.
novel little idea. I'll do that. Another mom hears that she did that. Oh, now I have to do that. Because if I don't do that, then I'm not doing as much for my kids
Hmm.
as I could be, or I don't want my kid to hear at school that someone else's parent got them a Valentine's Day present and I didn't. So now I get mine, and then other parents catch wind of it too, and they're like, "Oh shit, I guess we're all getting our kids Valentine's Day presents." And it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh my god, it's just another Christmas." And then it's like that for everything too. Like
Yeah.
for Easter they get stuff. For every holiday they get like
Oh, on a
it's just
weekend,
another version of Christmas.
yeah, dude, on a weekend trip to Target um to get like supplies like soap, deodorant, dishwasher shit. There's
Yeah.
always like a little Lego thing that gets put in there, right?
Right.
And it's just like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I get it. It's only this. But
Yeah.
no one ever adds up all of it's only this throughout the entire year because then that becomes a bigger number. And hell,
Yeah.
those little things, those coffees, those little trips to the gas station, all that
Yeah.
shit adds up.
Yeah.
And and then there's your vacation right there.
Mhm.
There's your
Mhm.
vacation, except we decided to spend it as a family in on other places. And
Yeah.
I am not innocent,
Right.
right? I'm just as guilty as everybody else is on that stuff too. And
Mhm.
so
Yeah.
I'm in a unique spot though, Kyle.
Let's hear it.
So I own my own business, right?
Mhm.
Part of my business is talking about, well, a majority of my business is talking about hunting the outdoors. Well, it takes more than one day to go and hunt animals, especially if I'm trying to hunt a species that is not in Iowa.
Mhm.
Some years I'm taking 8 to 16 days and I'm going like not at one time, like a day to drive, 6 days to hunt and a day to drive back.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm doing that
Couple times.
not this year, but last year I did it once to South Dakota, once to Kansas, and then, however many days in Iowa, hunt as well.
Yeah.
That's that's part of my business, right?
Yeah.
I do that for not only fun. I've decided to build my career and my income around what I love to do, right?
Mm-hmm.
The bad part is other people don't see that, okay? And other people
Yeah.
say, "Well, dude, you've taken three trips this year for, we want to go on a vacation too,
Yeah.
right?"
Yeah.
And so I have to explain, like, number one, that's how I make my money. And
Yeah.
then number two, are you willing to sleep in a tent for 6 days or sleep in a cabin that has no running water?
Right.
Like I can go and take the family on a 20-day vacation for $2,000,
Yeah.
but
Right.
nobody wants to do that,
Right.
right?
Right.
Nobody
Oh, yeah.
wants to do that. So it's not
Yeah.
about the time,
Yeah.
it's about like this it's unfair type thing.
Mhm.
It's not fair that you get to do that. Well,
Yeah.
you can come along if you want. I'll
Yeah.
I'll bring everybody along if they want,
Yeah,
but you
you're
gotta,
invited. You wanna go? All right. No,
yeah,
you
you,
don't?
you
Well,
want
then
you want to sleep in the back of a truck,
yeah.
right? Do you want to eat ham and cheese sandwiches 5 times in a row? No, you don't want to do that, do you?
Yeah. That's so true. Oh, that's funny. It even, like, when I reflect on my family vacations when I was a kid,
Mhm.
which I really do appreciate them, but I also think, like, we didn't do it to the nines, like, we
No.
stayed in, like, the cheapest hotel we could, whereas now
Yep.
that wouldn't fly, like, a huge part of our budget is staying in a really nice hotel because my wife refuses to stay in anything less than that, and
Yeah.
I get that, it's just, well, okay, then that just, like, it really inflates the cost,
Mhm.
and that limits the other things that we're gonna be able to do, but, when I was a kid, we were staying in the Motel 6 and the
Mhm.
Super 8, and, like,
Mhm.
we were just so happy that it had a pool, but there was
Yep.
nothing fancy, we didn't stay in the nicest hotel in the area or anything, like, we
Yeah.
kept costs down, drove everywhere, kept costs down, made a lot of lunches and stuff instead of eating out all the time,
Yeah.
and, yeah, I don't know, I feel like we've created the monster that we are upset about. When
Mhm.
I say we, I guess I mean, like, me and my wife.
Yeah.
Um, we've created the expectations around the things, but yeah,
And
I don't know.
the
I
other
gotta
thing
find that
that's
balance.
extreme. Yeah. Do you ever get this? We never do anything. You ever hear that from anybody? We never do anything. And then you have to remind them, like, well, last year we did this. The year before we did this. We did this the previous year. We did that. We did that. We did that.
Right.
And it's almost like when you do the thing, the second it's over, they forget about it.
Yeah, not to be super honest, not as much. I
Okay.
that doesn't surprise me. I don't get that as much. I think my kids, we've done quite a few big things for my kids. Like
Mhm.
we've taken them to Florida, maybe even a couple of times. Like my kids have already flown on an airplane so many times that they're bored with it. I didn't fly on an airplane till I was in 8th grade, and it was the class trip to Washington, D.C. that
Yeah.
my family, fundraised for, and we
Mhm.
we, like, delivered phone books in mobile home parks for hours to, like, save up money to send me to Washington, D.C.
Yep.
For the class trip,
Mhm.
and I just couldn't even believe I was on an airplane. I was like,
Yeah.
"This is crazy. This is wild." I'm like, wanted to be by the window so I could look out the whole time. I was
Mhm.
ecstatic. Dude,
Yeah.
my kids were on an airplane when they were babies.
Yeah.
My kids have flown 4, 5, 6 times now,
Yeah.
and they're little still.
Yeah.
It's just wild to me. So
Yeah.
my kids are pretty, I think they're pretty grateful. They don't do a lot of we never do anything. They
Yeah.
have good memories of going to Nashville and going to Florida and going to San Diego. Um we have been lucky that some of the bigger trips we've taken, we've been able to, like, when we went to San Diego, we stayed at my friend's house in San Diego. That helped a
Yeah.
lot,
Yeah.
obviously, right? When we went to Florida, we stayed in a really nice house on the beach. It was the next door to the people that we
Right.
were visiting, so we were staying in somebody else's house. They just let us stay there. So, like, that was an
Yeah.
enormous help, but man, when we went to
Yeah.
Nashville, holy shit. We stayed at the craziest hotel I've ever seen in my entire life, and it was like $500 a night. It was and we were there for like a week. It was long, it was expensive, and I those the whole time it was hard for me to have fun because I was like, "Oh my god, we are just hemorrhaging money here."
Hmm. Yeah.
It's
Let
hard
me ask
hard
you.
being the only one thinking about it.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I'm all for family vacations. I personally don't think that, and I'm not saying every year or like, but I feel like if I'm gonna spend money on something, I want it to be me and my wife. We live in a very chaotic time in our life where we are literally between our jobs, shuttling kids between activities.
Yeah.
Um, we don't have time for each other,
Mhm.
right? And I feel like if I'm going to do something, I want to do something, whether it's go to Nashville or even just a weekend trip somewhere,
Yeah.
go do it, the two of us, so we can have us time,
Yeah.
right? Because we don't
Yeah.
get that, right? We
Right.
never get that.
Right.
I feel like the bigger trips, like, yeah, it'd be great to take my kids to California or Denver or, somewhere big like Chicago for a long time. But you know what I really want? I really want to go with my wife and just disappear for a couple days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do just relax together for
Where would you
summer.
go?
I mean,
What would be your ultimate if you were like, "Dude, me and my wife could go do this for 3, 4, 5 days." What would that be for you?
well, it's not about what I want, Kyle. You should know that as a married man,
That's why
right?
I'm asking you, bud.
I
This is your
know.
chance to fantasize. Even in your
Right.
fantasy, you're like, "Well, it probably wouldn't happen."
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You're well trained.
Yeah. Hey, I got this S&M bunker for the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Uh, Dude, like, I honestly am so go with the flow on most things in my life. I honestly don't care.
Mhm.
Like Chicago, Nashville, New York, middle of nowhere, Montana. Like, I don't care. Like, this is the thing. As long as I'm with her,
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, part of me, what I get happy with is when I can see a glimmer of my wife truly being happy and relaxed,
Yeah.
like that. And it doesn't come a lot at the house,
Yeah.
right? Because of all the stress of the life and work and all this other shit that people just get too wound up on, and they don't take time to appreciate things. And so I just want to pull her out of that for a
Yeah.
moment, and I don't care where it's at, wherever that is. Now with her, she's fairly particular about where she wants to go. Nashville is like a very nice place for her to go. And I like Nashville
Mhm.
too. I like going to Broadway and listening to live music. We don't drink anymore, so there's no point in us like bar hopping or whatever, but go
Yeah.
find a nice concert, go out to a nice meal, there's a sushi place we really like, that
Mhm.
kind of stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
Mhm.
so I would love to get back and like do something like that. And that is more affordable because we don't
Yeah.
like the kids, like
Yeah.
bringing three other people along. They want to go do different activities, and all of those activities cost money.
Yeah.
Means we got to have a bigger Airbnb. It means we have to do when me and my wife first went to Nashville together, we stayed at an Airbnb that was one room and a bathroom, and
Yeah.
that was it.
Yeah.
And it was awesome,
Yeah.
right? And we
Right.
took scooters everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
I did that.
and you'd rent a
Huh.
scooter. Can't do that with the kids, dude.
Right.
You can't do that with the kids.
Right.
And so it just becomes like, I think like the state parks and the going to the river and maybe a trip to Des Moines for a swimming pool party at a hotel, whatever. That's for the kids, man. Like
Mhm.
until they get old enough. My wife is like, "Hey, let's go to Yellowstone." Yes, I can get behind that 100%. But right now, my youngest is still probably not old enough or I don't want to say in shape. He's not old enough to appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
and or be able to go on a 5 mile hike somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
That is the thing I've been thinking about too, is like the bigger things that I want to do with them, like go to Yellowstone, go to
Yeah.
Yosemite, go to various national parks and stuff. Like I also want to take them to, like, my kids have never been to a legit museum. They don't know what that's like. And
Yeah.
I really want to take them to the museums in Chicago and be able
Yep.
to, like, look at this crazy stuff that's here.
Yeah.
But, like, right now, they're so young that I don't think they'd be like, "Whatever, I don't care." But I think when they're a little older, they'll care more, and I'm excited to do stuff like that. It also makes me think, like, I want to start budgeting kind of on my own, like, keeping money aside.
Mm-hmm.
My wife doesn't even need to know about it, because
Yeah.
it's, not that it has to be a secret, but more like, I want this money to be dedicated only to the family vacation, so that it's
Yep.
not like, "Oh, family vacation time, whip out the credit card." But it's
Yep.
like, "Oh, hey, I've got a couple grand saved
Yeah.
over the year or over the past 2 years." I also kinda like the idea of, like, every other year do something a little bigger. So, like, one summer you just do kind of like the day trip, or like a couple of
Mm-hmm.
days or a couple of overnights or something, but it's like to Minneapolis, it's to
Right.
St. Louis, it's to whatever. And then, maybe every other year, then that gives you a chance to save up for something a little bit bigger and more interesting.
Right. Yeah. I feel that. I definitely feel that. Um, it, it all comes back to kind of like communication too,
Mhm.
right? I think
Mhm.
a lot of times when there's frustration, there's lack of communication. Like
Mhm.
I'm not getting what I want. Well, I'm not getting what I want. And that is the communication instead of sitting down and going, okay, I would like to do this or this. Like don't come to someone with an ultimatum. Come to them with options.
Right.
And you have a conversation about, okay, listen, I would like to do something this let's have a grown-up conversation about it,
Yeah.
right? Well,
Yeah.
we don't do anything anymore. That's not a grown-up conversation,
Right.
right? Let's talk about it. Like, what can we afford? How much money do you think it's going to take? And like, because it always costs more to go do something than what you think, especially
Yeah.
these days,
Oh, yeah,
right?
for
Hey, let's
sure.
hop on a plane and go to Florida.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's not $100, like, there's not a $75 plane ticket anymore,
Right.
right? In order for our family to fly, we're looking at between, on the cheapest flight, $500 to $1,200
Yeah.
for just to get to a place,
Yeah.
right? If we're going to fly. And
Right.
so,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah. Mm.
yep. The other thing I wanted to talk to you about, and I think this is more than just like spring break and vacation stuff. And
Uh-huh.
you kind of brought it up as well uh, a while back, and that's keeping up with the Joneses.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, how
Yeah.
much of this stuff is just to tell other people you've done it, or just to post about it and say, "Look at me."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, man. I feel like there's a lot of that going around these days,
Yeah.
especially when like some of that point of contention is coming from people who have more means than
Right.
others.
Right.
It's like, oh, so and so went to this island in the Caribbean. And
Yeah.
then this year they also went to this place out west and they went to here and they go do these 10 things every year. Well, I'm like, well, that guy makes $1 million a year or $500,000 a year,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
W- I we don't do that. How
Yeah.
can we compare ourselves financially to what everybody else is doing?
Yeah.
Also, we have 3 kids. They don't have any kids,
Right.
right? Or they have 1 kid, or like you're trying to compare your life to what somebody else's, and it's not the same.
That's right.
It's not the same.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, to me, I think it's up to us to keep ourselves rational. Like, it's
Mhm.
easy. I think it could be easy for anybody to get swept up in that,
Yeah.
for sure, to get carried away with that. You could do it with hunting stuff. Other guy took this cooler trip, or oh, like my bow's fine, but like this guy's got this sweet bow, and wouldn't that be cool? And oh, the gear I have is fine, but man, I saw like this other guy has this really cool, like any of us, I could do it with my dirt bike stuff and my
Hmm.
snowboarding stuff and all the other hobbies that I have. Like I could also be like always be looking at what's better, or I could keep myself rational and reasonable and stay in my own
Yeah.
lane. Be like, well, what do I need? What can I do? I
Hmm.
don't. A major pet peeve of mine is cherry picking. I don't like when
Mm.
people cherry pick the best things from other people's lives and think they should have all of that. It's
Yeah.
like that person went on that vacation, so I'll take that from their life. That person drives that car, so I'll take that from their life. That person lives in that house, I'll take that from their life. And then I'm
Hmm.
putting all that together and thinking that should be my life.
Yeah.
Like, dude, you can't cherry pick the best things from everybody else's life and think that
Yeah.
it should be yours. It's just I think
Yeah.
there's some personal work that an individual needs to do to keep themselves rational and reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, okay,
You
like
forgot.
I don't need that.
Yeah. You forgot to mention that wife never sees the husband. That kid has a severe handicap or something that you didn't talk about, and that
Yeah.
causes stress in their family.
Yeah, right.
Like that person only doesn't have any kids, right? That person is like you talk to them and they're thinking about getting a divorce, right? Why aren't you pulling that part out?
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
only pulling out the good parts
Yeah.
because everybody has problems,
Yeah.
right? If we sat here, me and you, and we're not going to do it,
Right.
but we're 100% honest with each other and told us about all of the bad things that happen in our lives along with the good things, it would be more relatable than
Yeah.
anything,
Yeah.
anything ever. Um,
Yes.
but people don't do that. They only focus on the must be nice moments. It must be
Yeah,
nice to go
totally.
do this shit.
Totally
But
agree.
guess what? I can't afford that.
Right, well, it's also not I can't, it's like we can't. Like, we
Hmm.
can't afford that. Like, how like, we need to be on the same page with that, and how do
Exactly.
you
I like that. Yeah.
like, any partner should be able to say to their partner, we need to be on the same page financially. Like the budget
Yeah.
is the thing that makes the decision. It
Hmm.
kind of doesn't matter what you want, and it kind of doesn't matter what I want. It only matters if we can make what we want fit within the budget. So it's not
Yeah.
me saying no, it's do we have the money for this? And if it's a big enough priority, then how are we going to shift the budget around? And the
Yeah.
answer can't be debt.
Yeah.
So it's not I can't afford to provide this for our family. It's
Hmm.
we as a family can't afford this. It's like
Yeah.
you could go get a second job if you want more money. You could change jobs and get more money if you want.
Yeah.
Or you could lower your expectations.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't think
But
I don't think debt is the right way to do it.
all right. I got a question for you now.
Mhm.
My wife has she got really close to dying, to be honest with you.
Right.
Like this, we in the last episode we shared that conversation. She doesn't even understand how close she was to being intubated. And it makes a guy like that go realizes like, how do you balance this? Because we could get into a car today and I'm going to go to the store and get T-boned by a drunk driver and I could
Mhm.
die.
Mhm.
Uh, or, like I could get struck by lightning. An airplane could fall out of the sky,
Right.
right? My wife has this asthma attack. She almost dies. And it makes you kind of think about how vulnerable life is and how precious it actually is and how much like being rich or having a car or having all of this shit doesn't matter. It's about time with the loved ones that you have while they're still alive,
Right.
right? And I
Right.
look at it like that, which also there's a caveat to that in my opinion, and that is why not go spend that money? Why not go live the best life that you can while you have the best life,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
I'm thinking about like I'm getting ready to have knee surgery that's going to lay me up for months,
Mm.
okay? What happens if I come out of that knee surgery and I'm not the same? right? I can't climb mountains anymore. I can't go on some of these hunts that I go on. I can't go play tackle football with my boys,
Yeah.
or limits me on that.
Yeah.
So part of me is like, dude, go out and live. Fuck retirement money,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like, dude, I'll go live in some state hospital as long as I can remember all of the good times that I've had
Yeah.
when I
Yeah.
get older. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, dude, I'll tell you what, you can do that, and then you're gonna have to sleep in the bed that you made because
mhm,
that will suck horribly
yeah,
if you live your life like that and you end up in that state nursing home. Oh my
yeah,
god, it'd be so bad. No, to me,
yeah,
that's where I think it's worthwhile doing that thought exercise. I also think we have to temper ourselves and
mhm,
we have to be measured. We have to be like, all right, yeah, that is a way of thinking. And also then there's reality that like how bad would it suck to be in a state nursing home?
yeah,
And what is truthfully the best way to live life? Like you can't people are like, oh, live as if there's no tomorrow. It's like, I get the spirit of that, but practically, I think that's horrible advice.
yeah,
Like, well, yeah, rack up $300,000 worth of credit card debt because who knows, you could die tomorrow. Yeah, well, what if you don't? You're gonna be totally
yeah,
screwed. So I think there's a mature balance, and I
yeah,
think you're like, why wouldn't I spend that money today? I am 100% with that as long as you have the money.
yeah,
I just don't think that like debt one of my favorite sayings is the budget doesn't lie. Like
yeah,
the budget will tell you what you're able to do and do as much as you can within your budget
mhm,
and you can get really creative with that. You can save up for 3 years and go on the
yeah,
vacation of a lifetime, or you can go on a bunch of smaller little things. Like you just have to decide economically what's
right.
right for you. So I don't get behind the like, fuck it, man, YOLO, do whatever the hell you want. Like I just don't. Dude, it's so to me, it's so irresponsible. You don't wanna
Yeah,
leave your kids with a pile of debt. What if
mhm,
you do live for a long time and you're gonna be totally screwed, or you might put yourself in a position where you never get to retire. You're gonna be working
yeah,
until you draw your last breath because you have no retirement.
yep.
Yeah, I think
That's gonna be me, dude.
Yeah, well, hey, at least you're wise that you've started a podcast. You've got your network going and
Yeah,
you'll be agile with that.
yeah. Hey, I just need, what were some of the last when my grandma had to hit the nursing home,
Mm,
uh, she I think it was like $5,000 a month to have her in a nursing home,
mhm.
and that money just disappeared,
Yeah.
like, very quickly
That's where everybody's
with
wealth goes at the end.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
My
to that.
grandma's was $8,500 a month,
Yeah,
and
yep,
that was a few years ago already. Like, I guarantee it's 10 grand a month now.
yeah, and that's crazy.
That's
So it's like,
$140,000 a year.
yeah, how do you like, you better hope you have a family that cares about you to help you manage, because my grandma would be in a nursing home if it wasn't for her kids taking her to and from doctor's appointments,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
so it's just, l look how complicated life is these days. Like,
Mhm.
that's complicated to me. It's like, you live this life, you put like, especially if you're a good person, like my grandma, she put a lot of energy towards other people. So
Yeah.
she deserves, or I shouldn't say the word deserves. She's earned, th- you know, the kids, other kids helping her out and
Yeah.
taking her to the doctor's appointments and stuff like that, and not to be in a nursing home, that
Yeah.
kind of shit.
Mhm.
But um I don't know. And then it makes me want to vote a different way sometimes because I get to a point where I'm like, "Geez, I fucking taxes, blah, 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 blah."
Yeah.
But if my taxes are going to help someone out, like my grandma,
Yeah.
who was a great person, like, I don't know, that's not so bad, or I
Yeah.
don't even know anymore, dude. Life is just so complicated.
Yeah.
Um, Back in the day when people would get old, they just move in with somebody else and they
Yeah.
would get taken care of. There's more of the family unit meant more back
Yeah.
then. And I don't think it means as much as it did today, as it
Yeah.
does today.
Yeah.
So,
I agree. I
yeah.
agree. There's also a difference in cultures. I think
Oh, culture. Yeah.
a lot of Hispanic cultures, like, move their grandparents into their home. And
Yeah.
that's just like fully the plan. And they're like, we'll just take care of them as long as we possibly can. And
Yep.
I, it's exceptionally rare that I hear of that in Midwestern culture,
Oh yeah.
in the average white culture.
Well, everybody's having to work still. So it's not
Mhm.
like you get to stay home. Like, I don't know why. I just envisioned me having to give my dad a bath. What the fuck?
Right, right, right. Yeah. Well, in that way, like, I've my wife and I have talked about it. Like, what if push comes to shove? What if one of our moms has to come live with us?
Yeah.
Like, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah.
Both of our my wife's mom is awesome,
Hmm.
wonderful woman. My mom is awesome, wonderful woman. They are both huge givers
Yeah.
and caretakers of other people. I wouldn't hesitate to move either or both of them in to my house
Yeah.
someday.
Yeah.
Um, I don't wanna give either of them a bath. So,
No, I don't
I think,
either.
like, I would have them live here and hire that stuff out, but
Yeah.
I would rather do that than have them be in a nursing home. I don't want either one of
Right.
them in a nursing home. I would rather set my house up, and my house is relatively well set up. I've got a walkout basement if they wanna have if they want no steps, like, there's
A swinger party.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's plenty of space for that here, so
Yeah, exactly.
no,
Don't
that's what
come
nursing homes are
downstairs,
like.
Kyle.
Dude, nursing homes are known for
Oh yeah.
old folks having a
I've
lot of
heard the
fun sometimes.
stories.
Yeah.
I've heard the stories.
Oh, yeah.
So, well, this is I think I don't know what we accomplished today other than great conversation,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
um, and that wouldn't it be cool to be rich?
Yeah,
Like,
right?
to have so much money you just didn't have to worry about anything anymore.
Man,
Like,
yeah, that would be an incredible level of wealth. I'm glad you said that, though, because a thing that I try to keep in mind sometimes is that compared to the rest of the world, most of the world, we are
oh
filthy
yeah.
rich.
Oh,
And
100%.
it's a thing that I actually want to do this for myself, and I wanna do this with and for my kids as well, is do some type of travel so that they can see how most of the world lives.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
cool.
even
You got flooring?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are
You
there
have
are people
running
who
water?
have a yeah, there's people who have a dirt floor in their house.
Mhm.
There's people, I mean, even in developed European countries, they might not be able, like, they're like, "Don't let your shower water get in your mouth
Yeah.
because it's not sanitary,"
Yeah.
you know? Like,
Yep.
they might not have, like, there's a lot of European countries that don't really have air conditioning.
Yeah.
They have heating with no air conditioning. You just open the windows in the summer, and, like,
Yep.
places are way smaller and all of these
Yep.
things. So it's like, I do try to remind myself that we actually are rich. And so when I'm,
Right.
like, frittering my money away on little things here and there, it's like, that's my own damn fault
Right.
for wasting, like, not being a good steward of my own resources.
Right.
And I think that's to tie in keeping up with the Joneses, like, when you're doing things to scratch this itch that someone else gave you, I don't think that's wise.
Mhm.
I think it's better to be like, what's meaningful to me? What's meaningful to my family? Let me make a real plan in the form of a schedule and a budget and
Mhm.
live life.
Yeah.
So I
That's a
think we
fact,
are
my
rich,
friend.
dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And like I keep going back to this Bob Marley quote that I heard a long time ago. He's like, "Do you consider yourself a rich man?" He's like, what makes you rich? Possessions? Like, does possessions make you rich? Does money in the bank make you rich, or the fact that you have this amazing life, that you have a 1 in 1 trillion chance of being born, and here you are
Yeah.
right now. What are you going to do with it?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so,
Yep.
yep, YOLO.
Budget. Everybody don't listen to Dan. Everybody out there, make a budget, make a schedule.
Yep, that's fact. That's a fact.
Alrighty, bud. Well, hey, man, I thank you very much for your time. Always look forward to talking to you. So happy that your wife is feeling better.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
that.
good. All right. If everybody could do us a huge favor and go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you download the Man Therapy podcast, please give us a 5-star review. Let everybody know that these conversations that me and Kyle have every week are a little bit of education, a little bit of entertainment, and that it's just something cool to listen to throughout your week. If you would also go to YouTube and subscribe to the Man Therapy podcast, that would help us out. Once we hit a certain level of subscriptions, then it allows us to do some creative things as far as unlock certain levels of YouTube. So go do that. Thank you guys very much for listening. Kyle, have a great weekend, and we will talk to you next week.